Days of a brand new start came in perfect time and measure.
All right, we recording? Chapter 5 is done. We finished all the podcast episodes for those songs, and we like to end each season by doing a little Q&A. So we've asked online if there's any questions about Chapter 5 or chapters at this point, and we will try to answer them.
Question number 1. Who did the artwork?
Natalie.
Strickland. Did I pull that out or
Are
what?
we finishing each other's
Sandwiches?
Natalie Strickland
Yeah,
is
she's awesome.
killer. Great artist. She did all the artwork for every single and the final for Chapter 5. She did all the heart artwork, and we love her style.
Yeah.
Abstract, multi-textural. All of her artwork is stuff that you could zoom in and look at. The closer and closer you look, there's more and more and more detail and depth. So we were drawn to that. Felt like it matched the sounds, and it was cool because we had an initial conversation with her. All the conversations were basically like, we want you to hear the songs. We want you to bring out the colors that you hear. And she's just able to be really, truly artistic in an abstract way.
So the reason the first 3 singles are a heart is they're actually the same thing. They're just different layers. We were going to have her build and build and build upon them, just like we do musically, right? Mm-hmm. And we ended up changing that at the last minute. Why did we do that?
Mostly just because we felt like she could probably tell the story if she was unvetted. I think we just started feeling like we were given too many parameters. We love what she does. And so when we finally just said, hey, you know what, for the final album
Don't listen
artwork,
to us.
just do whatever you do.
Yeah.
It was great, and we love it.
When I look at it, I see the stories of our songs. Beauty out of darkness and different layers and textures, but also like brightness.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think of streaming services and YouTube? Does it bother you when people stream instead of buy?
Doesn't bother me.
I could care less.
We are in a new era, and that's what it is, and I'm just flattered that people listen. So, nope, doesn't bother us at all. I know there's a lot of talk that is justified about devaluing art, and I know that there's a conversation there, but the flip side of that is, think about 20 years ago, guys like us would be completely at the mercy of distributors and especially a record label. Literally, it is just the two of us.
Right.
We mix and master everything. We make everything. We distribute everything. We are all the upfront costs, and everything is us. So it's an amazing thing that we can be completely independent. And our music is in like the Philippines,
right,
and Germany and France.
Right. There's people from all over the world that get to enjoy what we do, and
that is because of
is,
the technology that's out there. So thank you, thank you, Spotify.
Why no guitar solos? Don't tempt us, people. We will start adding this stuff.
It is funny, though. The reason I started playing music was Jimi Hendrix.
Really?
And Stevie Ray Vaughan and Phil Keaggy and just
I've never heard you play
shredders.
like that, ever.
Right. I got it all out of my system the first 8 years of playing guitar. That's
good.
all I did.
Is it hard to create during a quarantined global pandemic? Have you guys been affected by the lockdown? Do you feel like, okay, I'm going to give 2 months of like, okay, let's do this. We're going to stay home. We're going to figure out this new pattern. We're going to thrive. Mm-hmm. And by month 3, it was like, I haven't showered much. I don't care as much.
Groundhog's Day, man.
Yeah, we're eating more fast food than we normally do. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not healthy. I did start running, though. I ran a total of 5 miles in May.
Good for you.
Yeah, my feet are still sore. It sucks.
What is life? What am I?
In theory, we should be writing like crazy right now. We're still working every day, but it has been really hard to write.
Yep.
Why is that?
Great question. And the other artist friends of ours that we talked to, I mean, almost unanimously saying there's a heaviness and then there's an unusualness about it. But yeah, for whatever reason, it's been difficult to have a clear enough head to actually be creating.
There's something to be said about routine and schedules. Mm-hmm. We're a family of 6, right? So we have 4 kids at home. There's no school. Parks, play dates, there's nothing. My wife is stuck at home with 4 kids destroying our house, which makes it really hard for me to like, okay, see you, babe. There's a lot more on our shoulders as providers and husbands, I think. Do you feel that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's different for sure. I don't know. For whatever reason, it has been uniquely challenging, but onward. Why no alt version for Hold It All Together?
I felt like when we were done with that, we had said all we needed to say.
Yep. Another question. Will you ever make your releases available on vinyl?
I'd love to.
Yeah. I still think we probably will.
Which chapter would you do?
Great question.
Would you do all of
Maybe
them?
chapter 2, 3?
I think we start with 3.
That'd be fun.
I'd like to listen to that. You want to hang it up in your studio.
Yeah, because in my studio, I've got vinyls up on the walls as the artwork. Here's a question. Now that music is your job, do you still love it as much as when you first started learning?
Great question. You answer first.
It's different for sure. Life is different. I was a kid. My interpretation of music is different. And there is a weight of responsibility with meeting deadlines. But we've got a pretty sweet situation, I have to say, in general. We don't have a bunch of A&R outside influences hanging over us and breathing down our necks about stuff.
The only pressure is self-inflicted pressure.
Exactly. Music is still the thing that helps me relate to the world and interpret my emotions and what is going on and process things. It's the soundtrack for what I'm going through.
We were just talking about the lyrics to chapter 5, you and I. I need these songs. Like, I need to be able to process this stuff, have a different perspective on things. In that regard, I love it the same as I did 20 years ago when I started doing this.
I still have nights where I'm listening to music on my own, just kind of laying on the floor, headphones, like I used to when I was a kid. It brings me back to life.
Gosh, do you remember that as a kid? Laying there, getting a new record from
Every
Tower
night,
Records,
dude.
And laying there and just going through the artwork. I'll never forget opening Foo Fighters' Color and Shape and listening to that record 5 times straight through. Same with Jimmy Eat World Clarity. Like, I saved up quarters for that record.
That's hilarious.
I sat in my bedroom in front of this little boombox and just listened to that record over and over. Picked apart every word and every guitar riff, and it was so inspiring.
I had a lot of anxiety when I was a kid, and I had a hard time going to sleep. When I was around 4th grade or so, I started getting anxiety about going to bed.
Whoa.
So I started listening to music. I got to where it was like, I looked forward to going to bed. I had my own room, and I just had headphones, and I would listen to music. Honestly, like every night I'd listen for 4 hours, 5 hours until like super late.
Cool.
It was my own little world, and I didn't have a bunch of other friends that listened to everything that I was listening to. It was just mine. Music's an amazing thing. Here's an important question, though, real quick. David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar? Go.
Well, Sammy's got that killer bar in Cabo.
So he's got that going for him.
So I'm going to go with Sammy.
Lee Roth, man. I'm a Roth guy.
Best studio snack?
Ooh, good question.
Great question. Sunflower seeds.
Sunflower seeds.
Like my father.
Like Ace Ventura. You just chew it up like Ace Ventura and set it on the desk.
Eat it like a bird.
What's one artist or musical style you two disagree on? Radiohead.
Oh, Radiohead.
You want to like Radiohead.
God, I want to like them, and I just can't.
Just hook it to my veins.
Hold on. Why is Radiohead such a big deal to you?
Oh, dude. I bought from BMG 12 CDs when I was a kid for a penny, right?
Oh,
Remember that?
Yes.
Okay. My first order was the Benz, Radiohead. That whole record just floored me. So I started a relationship with them early and was able to walk through their catalog as they released it. And in college, Kid A. But I love weird, unusual, experimental sounds. I love emo, and they give it all to me.
Yeah.
Great beats.
So for me, it was the punk rock stuff. I grew up, and it was MXPX, Goldfinger, Lagwagon, Strung Out. The list goes on and on and on, especially here in Southern California. So that's what I really grew up with. For me, the big change musically was when I got into Bob Marley. That was like, whoa, this is a whole different land. Mm-hmm. Okay, how about this? What band do we surprisingly both revere as one of our top favorite bands of all time?
Deftones.
No, you idiot. Rage Against the Machine.
Rage Against the Machine.
They're in my top 2 bands of all time. And I think you would say the same.
They're
I think you would say the same.
easily within my top 5.
Yeah.
Easily. Radiohead, Sigur Rós.
Rage Against the Machine.
Could be right there.
That's a lineup right there.
Yeah. All right. Here's a question. What hobbies do you have outside of music?
I love roller coasters, dude.
You are nuts
fan.
about roller coasters.
No. No, I think I'm officially in the tier of enthusiast. So I've upped it because not only am I a huge fan of roller coasters, I'm a huge fan of knowing which companies have made them.
It's next level.
If there's airtime or lateral ejector, maybe. I want to know all the info.
Nerdville.
And I really, really, really want to visit just about every park there is and get my coaster count up.
When you say you're into roller coasters, people that might listen to this might go, oh yeah, me too. I'm down. Every roller coaster I've been on, I like. Cool. No, that is not what Josh is talking about. He is next level. He is on the roller coaster forums
Yeah.
talking to,
Nerds.
yeah.
Very single men. Do you have to study music to be a successful musician? I've never studied a day in my life. In fact, I don't even know how tabs work.
The answer is no. What you really need is a community to get energy from, to learn from. And you usually find that when you're studying music. And then, of course, the more music you understand, the greater your vocabulary to be able to speak what you want to say artistically.
Best TV show of all time.
The Office. That's easy.
Yeah, that's up there. You know what else is up there for me? And this is going to sound so dumb. I loved Downton Abbey. Did you like that? You hate it, don't you?
No, I watched it.
Did you watch all of it?
I loved the music.
That's what it was.
They
Hold
lost
on.
me after like 3 seasons.
After Matthew died? Okay.
Yes.
is
Actually, yes.
Okay. Let's go to coffee after this and just talk Downton.
No, it's okay. I think I got stuff to do.
I'll go to coffee. Okay, listen. Yes, if I'm going to have to pick a show to watch daily or to watch over and over, it's going to be The Office, it's going to be Parks and Rec.
I'm with you on all of those.
Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Amazing. I've
Always.
watched all those seasons 4 times in a row. Mm-hmm. But there is something about the music and the way I feel when I watch Downton Abbey.
Do you feel like a gentleman when you watch it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like a gentleman, and the music is so stinking captivating.
It is. The music
That-
is phenomenal.
From minute 1, I'm like leaning in, like, what's going to happen today? I already know.
Mr. Carson.
Poor Sybil. Okay. Favorite soundtrack of all time?
I don't know how I'm going to be able to decide favorite, but I mean, the first thing that popped in my head is that Joker soundtrack from this year with Joaquin Phoenix. Obviously, it's not going to be my favorite, but I mean, there's Sicario is another one.
Never heard
Johan Johansson. I'm a total soundtrack freak.
Are you
and
really?
I love.
I did not know that.
So it's going to be hard to choose a favorite.
I'm going to go with Mary Poppins. Okay.
Why is that?
Why isn't it? You've heard it, right?
The original or the new one?
Oh, dude, the original. Come on.
I love them both. I was blown away by the new one.
It was amazing.
Blown away.
But it didn't have my childhood attached to it. So it sucked.
There you go.
Okay. Is that
So it sucked.
is that all what we have here? None of this is about chapters
Yeah.
or chapter 5. That's kind of funny.
Here's a question
Yeah.
for you, Mr. Songwriter Boy.
Sure.
Do you ever write political songs? You like Rage Against the Machine, so nobody does covers of Rage Against the Machine, though.
I want people to cover us. I use this to process things that are happening in life for me. So whether it be family, court stuff that we're dealing with, hospital, near-death experience, perspective changing, these are the things that are going on in my life, and I use these songs to process them. So I'm not in a place where I'm on the front lines of activism and have a big voice in this particular subject or this subject. That's just not where I am in life. I mean, life has all sorts of different chapters, and whoever writes politically, they have something really strong to say because they're living it, and it lights a fire under them. Well, I'd say the same for me. These lyrics mean a lot to me, and they're fueled by what's going on in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'd feel like a little bit of an imposter if I just started like trying to write something about something I don't really know or
Right.
fully understand or fully grasp, you know?
Oh, question.
Yeah.
Do you plan on making any music videos?
Can you picture our dumb faces trying to be serious about some sort of video? Like with my hand out to I don't know. I feel so dumb
hilltop.
and awkward anytime I've done anything like that.
In the wind?
Eagles soaring or something. I think the extent of music videos will be live stuff we do in the studio, tutorials, but I don't see you and me side by side in spandex.
Yeah. Because we make everything ourselves,
Yeah.
and because film is just not in our wheelhouse, that's probably why it hasn't happened before. Coupled with the fact that, one of our primary things is providing this music
Right.
for creative filmmakers.
Actually, think about that. Think
So-
of how many videos there are
That's
out
what I'm
there
saying.
for chapters.
You guys, filmmakers, that
Yeah, you guys
if you're
make
listening to this, you make music videos all the time for us. And so I do have that thought from time to time. How dumb would it be for us to try to define what it is visually ahead of time before we hand it over to you, the real
Right.
creatives, to actually do your thing and reinterpret and make it? So that's probably why we haven't in the past.
It might actually pigeonhole it.
Right.
When what's really interesting is seeing people use these songs that are completely different than each other. So a wedding or like a D-Day thing or some sort of corporate video or
I do think we're probably at some point going to find a visual artist that we click with, that it just is mutually beneficial for us to do more like lyric videos.
Yeah.
I could see us doing that. But again, that's not top of the priority list.
where do we see chapter 6 going? We have a lot of demos.
I don't know yet, but I've been in a zone of listening to a lot of pop music, making a lot of beats. The part of me that is just a sucker for hooks has been coming out to play a lot lately.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Somebody asked me the other day why we do albums instead of just singles. This batch of songs that we just did, chapter 5, definitely these songs fit together, and there is a statement. And I think it's really interesting that we start. Literally, the very first thing you hear on the first song is Days of a Brand New Start. And we end, one of the last things you hear is Let the New Begin.
Yeah.
Across different songs, we've got a lot of similar imagery,
Yeah.
lyric, musical sounds, and everything. And so these songs, this cluster of 5 songs, really, really works well together as a statement, as a chapter. It defines an era in our lives of
Yeah.
situations, circumstances, and issues that we tackle. So we're pretty proud of it. And
Very.
I don't know where 6 would be yet, but we've got a lot of ideas.
Yeah, and I'm super excited.
Me too.
Let's get to work.
Let's do it.
No, let's go to coffee and talk about Downton Abbey, dude.
Actually, I think I've got an appointment.
With your other
No.
band.
No appointments with COVID. I mean,
Okay, bring your mask.
thanks for listening. We have a lot more of these episodes coming soon, so make sure to hit subscribe and follow. You can always find the latest information on the podcast and all of our new releases at wearechapters.com.